Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. It's Chris and D-Palm here, your hosts, and we are here to talk about episode 21 of season 5 of Arrow, Honor Thy Fathers. Oliver faces the forced release of criminals prosecuted by Adrian Chase, while a crate is delivered to Oliver's office containing a corpse in concrete. I mean, we were talking about how, like, the Flash has to make sure it doesn't try to outdark Arrow, and this is why. Like, it literally opens with a corpse being delivered to Oliver Queen, the mayor's house, office. Come on, guys, you're not gonna beat that.
No,
you're not gonna beat corpse in concrete. Don't try to outdark that. So, not gonna happen. What do you think of this episode, man?
it was I don't know. I liked it. It was a good episode. A lot happened, but I felt like it was like there's some weird decisions, like the decision to have Oliver decide to put the suit back on over a commercial break.
Right.
Why didn't we get the soaring orchestration and the big hero moment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's my thing with this episode. Like, we've been singing the praises of Arrow this week, this season, and I feel like the last few episodes have been really, really strong. It's not that this episode was bad to me. It just wasn't as strong as the episodes before. It felt, like you said, we've been waiting for 2 episodes for Oliver to get back into the suit, right? We've seen him, still out in the field, still doing things, but not having it in him to have the suit on. And like you said, he literally put the suit on in the middle of a commercial break and then just shows up with Diggle and Curtis, in the suit. And I mean, they notice, it's like, hey, good to see you back, but it's just, we didn't get that moment. And I don't know, like you said, it's a weird decision.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, not saying like it was bad or wrong. It's just there are a lot of things that happened in this episode that made me like bring back Thea. Mm-hmm. And I like the restraint of her turning down the suit. But I also thought it was weird that it was weird that Oliver offered.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. He knew how hard she worked to get away from it all, and I guess maybe it was his moving towards normalcy, I guess, in his head. But for me, it was just, I guess you had to address the fact that she wasn't going to put on the suit, and that's the best way to do it. Yeah. I may have read too much into it.
Well, you know what? I see it both ways. Like, on one hand, it's like, come on, Oliver. Like, she's talking about how it's too much and how she doesn't recognize herself, and you literally want her to put the red suit of Death Ninja back on.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. But at the same time, like you said, it's the elephant in the room, and if he leaves to go off and doesn't offer it, then people are going to go, well, you have Death Ninja here. Why don't you take... Well, only to offer her to put the suit back on. I'm just saying, because, it's, so... But no, you're right. I get it. It's, like I said, this episode was just weird. Like I said, there were certain things... And some of it, I think, will get more in the next episode. Like, for instance, the whole thing with Adrian Chase, the finale, the square off with Adrian Chase at the end, and Oliver pulling out that trump card of, well, your daddy never really loved you. He was going to disown you, all that stuff. And Chase kind of giving up. I felt kind of weird about that until I saw Chase smiling at the end, and I was like, oh, no, he's where he wants to be. So I got that, right? I'm like, oh, no, you want to kind of be here because you are fucking crazy, and this can't be the end. And I kind of like that. It felt off at first, but then I look at them like, okay, wait, we still got 2 more episodes left, and they're doing that thing where the heroes think they've won, but they haven't. They've actually just made it worse for themselves. And so I kind of like that, but it felt weird.
It felt super weird, especially how personal the whole thing had been. For him to go down in a quest to, like, weaponize tuberculosis, like, it just... How even Team Arrow was like, oh, thank God we got rid of that. I'm like, wait, how are you comfortable with this?
Well, so I get the weaponized tuberculosis thing because it was basically his father's plan. So, like, I get that. Like, that, the whole thing.
You've seen this season, it's too easy.
Well, and so that was my thing. So it wasn't that it was, because at first I was saying I was going, this is too easy. This doesn't seem right. What I didn't like is the fact that Team Arrow nobody on Team Arrow goes, that was too easy.
This is super straightforward for someone who's had like intricate plans to make Oliver shoot other people.
Right. And so, and I think that's my problem is that the rest of it, like, because I think that as an audience, we're supposed to feel like that. We're supposed to feel that this is too easy. This is weird. How did Adrian Chase go down so easily? This is something you could take down this guy beginning of the season. Like, why did it take this long to be able to pull this off? But Team Arrow should have been like, with all the stuff that Adrian Chase put them through, they should have been on some, well, take the win, but like even Oliver on some, yeah, we should be winning because that's been Oliver, right?
Think about early in the episode when they ID the body, he said, no, it has to be more complicated than that. It's just too easy for Chase.
Right. And so it was weird at the end where everybody's like, yay, we won. And I'm like, but did you? You just put, and then like, and the clue for me was when they said that they didn't take Adrian, they put Adrian Chase in an Argus cell. So I'm like, so you put him in the middle of Argus, which might be where he wants to go in the first place. And then he's just smiling. I'm like, there's so many other things here. You know, there's Talia, there's all these other people he's been using to help him. Like, something else is going on here, and you know, and I think that
but not the only one who just like maybe we should just put a bullet in his head.
Yeah, my thing was, and that goes back to that scene at the end was very awkward for me. Not at the end, but with Oliver facing off when he kneels down and puts a sword in front of Oliver. The fact that Oliver wasn't even tempted.
Run the sword through him.
Right. Stab him. Something. You don't have to kill him, but you can maim him. You
should probably kill him.
I mean, no, you should. And I get that, but I understand why they can't have Oliver do it because he's killed the last two seasons. So I get why Oliver can't kill, especially for the theme of this season, which has been getting Oliver wanting to move away from being that killer. So I understand why Oliver can't kill him, but to me, he's got to at least be tempted to do it. And by not having him tempted, and maybe they'll do that in the next two episodes, or at least they'll finish the season with it and finish, him squaring up with Adrian Chase will be him choosing not to, being close to killing Adrian but not doing it. But here, I'm like, Oliver, he just put the suit back on. He didn't have the suit on because, he saw himself as a killer. And he's had the last two episodes of people trying to tell him, you are not that person. The whole theme of fathers, which I thought was a good theme. I like what they did with that. But Oliver having to make the choice of, like, they didn't give Oliver the choice of not being like his father, right? And it just, I don't know, it didn't fit for what they normally have done this season on closing those loops. And, yeah, I mean, maybe they'll do it again, but just this episode weird. I mean, this episode just felt awkward.
Right.
It just didn't fit with what they've been doing. Like, I get the overall things they were doing, but there were small things like that. Like I said, Oliver would have at least been tempted to pick up the sword. Like, he didn't pick up the sword. He didn't do anything. He just didn't do any of that stuff. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't, I don't know. It just didn't fit for me. And then again, going back to the whole thing of them not realizing that this is just way too fucking easy.
Yeah, I think 100%. You're right.
I'm sorry. That's just way too fucking easy. We got the flashbacks again, and we see Oliver back on the island, and it reminds you of how good of a friend Anatole and Oliver had become, and it made me go back to thinking about where they got to this season, and I'm like, damn, that's actually it's sad because like you see how close they became, and they really became brothers. But if Oliver's going to move forward and become the Green Arrow and become the Oliver Queen that we know from the comics and things like that, that relationship between him and Anatole has to be broken. It has to go away. And so, I don't know, just going back to the few episodes ago when, a couple episodes ago, I think it was, when him and Anatole, broke ways, seeing them in this flashback together with, them ending on good terms and ending as brothers. It was just, man,
Right.
you know, and even not only that, but then also when they show up to the island and Oliver's telling him about, you know, and Anatole's like, why are you like it's Slade's mask? He's like, well, he was my friend. And then you remember it's like shit. And he's right. They actually were good friends until it.
And it was shown on the. It reminds you remember that you see the mask in the opening episode.
Exactly. So you see how the arrow got through the mask. He put it there.
Which the mask washed up. I get it, but come on.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, after because it's been what like 3 years.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't. No, hey, look, timeline doesn't work, but we're going with comic book timelines here, so it fucking works. Go with that.
And then what was the other thing? I like that he has the fake. I like that the wig's a wig.
Yeah,
and the beard's a fake beard.
I had to go back and rewind and find out what Anatole gave him, because I was like, wait a minute. So if Oliver's on the island, so and because in my entire mind I'm going, okay, so I get the plan. Anatole will send a fishing boat by. Oliver will shoot the arrow, and that's what we saw at the beginning of season 1. But I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't work because, wait, did something happen to the boat or something like that? Because Oliver had this beard and this really, really bad wig on at the time. So, it was actually a wig, and that makes sense. And I like that they didn't pull it out of the bags, but if you hear them talk about it, you know what it is. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Huh. So nobody knew that the guy they pulled off the island had a wig on? Okay. I'll allow it. Hey, look. Hey, again, comic book rules. You can't think about it too much. It's okay. But we also see that he's going to still go through some shit because Kovar shows up. Because why the fuck not?
Because nothing's easy.
Well, and that we can't end the season and not have another fight between, you know, Stephen Amell and
I like that they gave us 2 days. Like they told us it's going to be these next 2 episodes, 2 days.
Yeah.
48 hours they'll be here.
Right. So
here we go.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm really excited about that, and I'm really excited to see what they do next season, since there will be. I don't know. I'm wondering. I'm even wondering if they change the name of the show.
To Green Arrow?
Yeah. Because at this point, you've gotten past the flashbacks. Because even in this episode, well, and again, this is why even with the negatives we're saying about some of the weird choices they made, I think overall the episode still fits in the season.
It's still a great episode. I just think it was just weirdly presented.
Right. Because the theme here is letting go of your past and living your future. So if you go into the next season and there's no more flashbacks and it's now called Green Arrow, you're literally having Oliver leave behind the last 5 years, which is what you needed for him to move forward. So, again, they probably won't change the name of the show, but I'm a fan of them doing that because you won't need it anymore. You're going to have Oliver confronting his past in this season and trying to live for the future and live for himself and do that, which, again, I think was a great theme for not only him, but also Thea this season. I mean, this episode. With bringing her back, because, again, it was kind of weird seeing her. I was like, wait, she came back all of a sudden? But then when you see the topic of them finding out that Robert Queen was a murderer, which again can't be that. I love Thea. Thea was very honest about this. She was like, "Well, once you find out your father, Malcolm Merlin, is your dad, I mean, you're not."
It's hard to really get mad, right? Because he killed like thousands of people,
right? And then don't never forget that Robert Quinn was also, on board with, their parents were also on board with the undertaking, which is going to kill a lot of people as well. So it's like, it's. But I think Oliver did a good job of trying to explain that. It's like, listen, it was one thing to have them part of doing bad things and being part of the undertaking and things like that were almost like they're almost 1,000 feet up. It's another when you see a video of your dad killing someone and then covering it up. And it's not even like, Robert Queen in the video was being, and I think that's probably what sold it. It wasn't even that he was being like a cold-blooded murderer. It seems like he was arguing with a person. They pushed and shoved, and dude fell off. Like, it really could have been, a misdemeanor. Not a misdemeanor, but it could have been like a manslaughter charge or something like that. And him being Robert Queen, he probably could have beat it. But then he went out of his way to cover it up. And I think that's what really set Oliver over the top. And it was good seeing Oliver and Thea have to come to terms with that, because it's a rough thing to do. So, yeah. We also have the other thing with fathers. You have Rene and Quentin.
Yeah.
And so here's my thing. Do you think Rene skipped out on the meeting, or do you think he was kidnapped?
That's the only two answers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, see, after the talk with Quentin, like, I got what Rene was saying, but I was like, Rene, you're being stupid. Just like Quentin was saying, Rene, you're being stupid. So at the end of that conversation, I felt like Rene had, agreed to go to the meeting and be there for his daughter. So I'm looking at it like, I think he wasn't there because he couldn't be there. Something stopped him from being there. But we'll see. But
because they've done the thing where you had to be convinced to go.
Right. And that's and here's the thing that I'm like, I actually, I almost kind of don't want them to do that. I almost don't want them to make it the easy way out and make it that Rene is, because don't be afraid to confront that. Like, Rene has a real fear about being a father to
Rene's a little broken. He's a little broken.
He's a little broken. So you can make a cop out of saying that Adrian Chase and his associate had Rene kidnapped. You can do that. And it wouldn't be a cop out or anything like that, because I get it. Hey, at some point you don't want to, completely heartbreak the kid, but it would be, I think it would be interesting if it comes out that he was like, yo, I was going to do it. I got dressed up. I just couldn't go.
Yeah.
And I think it would fit the character. And like I said, I don't know. I've liked what they've done with Quentin this season, towards the back half of the season, after him coming back clean. I mean, he lost his daughter, but he's kind of gaining a son here in Rene. And it's been good. I like seeing them interact together. Like I said, Rene's been a good character to put up with other characters in, like Quentin, Curtis, and Diggle. You put him up with those three, and you get some really, really great personal moments that you weren't expecting, and it's made me really, really appreciate that character. So I've been enjoying that. Let's see here. I love that when they were on the roof, Oliver's talking to Dinah and says, and tell Rene to sit tight. Why do you have to tell me to sit tight? Because he knows you. I mean, yes.
I mean, Rene, that's a level of self-awareness, man. That's the best kind of awareness, self-awareness.
I mean, I'm just saying, Rene, you don't do that. Also, we're terrific. I've been waiting to use that. Curtis.
It was corny as hell, but I loved it.
So corny as hell. Oh man. So and I like the idea of, and I didn't mention this last week, or maybe I didn't. I just forgot. I like the idea of all these criminals now being out because Adrian Chase was the DA, and obviously, the judges are going to grant new trials and bail to all these people, because no matter how bad they were, the DA was literally a serial killer and corrupt. So yeah, he's got to, you got to let all these people out, because they're not going to be able to put all these people back this season, and it allows you to basically seed the world of criminals for your new Green Arrow coming in next. Not new Green Arrow, but seeds the world for Team Arrow coming in next season, and having a bunch of people that they put away, but now are back out because, you try to go through the system, and, well, the guy in the system was corrupt as fuck. So, yeah, I like that. And seeing who else we can get. They brought back Samson this episode, who I thought he was dead before, but apparently I was wrong.
I don't know, he put those arrows in his legs so he couldn't move.
Oh, that's right. And he really can't die, so there's that. And that's the other thing too. And we didn't really get it more. We got a little bit of it this way, but just like with Anarchy and Thea, I forgot there's a history with Samson and Rene, because Rene's the reason why he got the powers. So that'll be interesting seeing that go forward, and if they develop that like a a little side story like they did with whatchamacallit, with Thea and Anarchy, and just lost you and you just came back, so I didn't say anything major.
Okay.
So I don't know why we're dropping the day. It's just
I
being
think
that.
it's my end.
Okay, it's being that kind of day. But that's basically all I had this episode. Like I said, it's a very straightforward episode. Nothing too major. I think that let's see. We did have one email here. Is from last week that I'll read. You got anything else you want to say about this episode in particular before we read the email?
No, I enjoyed it. I think that Sam's being back was fun. And I think this was the highlight from Mr. Terrific, right? He diffused a bomb in the field.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is kind of. I'm glad they saved the "We're all terrific" line for now, but yeah, definitely heading the right direction with him.
Well, that and he's got the T-spheres now, so he also was able to cut the thing to save the little floor to save Oliver and Diggle from being turned into concrete cases. So, yeah. Now
Having Felicity in the field.
Now that he has his balls, he's good.
See, some of us are trying not to make that joke,
and some of us just aren't mature enough not to make that joke. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, this is that was one of the things we were having a problem with before was what are they going to do with Curtis? And like you said, we've realized that they've established he is not a fighter, so we need to find other methods for Curtis to do, and we have done that. And
but they can make him a fighter because he was with a gold or a silver medal decathlete. Like they can make him a fighter.
Oh no, eventually, but right now he is not.
Right now, yeah.
Right. Like, like I said, with plenty of training, they can get to that point and go from there. And same thing with, like, again, I think we mentioned it before, Dinah doesn't really do anything in this episode. She's basically just a bruiser, which I'm okay with. And the reason why I'm okay with that is because usually they don't have a woman being that. And so I mean, that's usually a role for a guy, right? The guy comes in.
She's the muscle, you're right.
Like, the guy's the muscle. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything. I mean, honestly, that was kind of Mac early on with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. because when we had Bobby, Hunter, even in that first episode when they were there, you had Lucy Lawless for a while. Mac was kind of like, he was just like the mechanic, the guy who fixes shit. So, but eventually he got into a bigger role, and I feel like they can do that with Dinah. But right now, she's just the muscle, and I'll take it because she is the muscle. Like, she comes out of nowhere and she wrecks shop, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with a woman being this character. I'll take it, because normally your big gun is not, not a female character. In this case, it is. So, I'll allow it. It's a way of finding a role for a person, even if you don't have anything else. And, we'll take it. So, here we go. This is from Tracy. Oliver has been struggling with being a killer. I may have missed something, but have they ever covered or explained Rene and Diggle blast people with guns? Seems like they all have no remorse or struggle with at all. Thanks. No, they haven't. The only thing I've kind of gone with is that they're not, but like, for instance, in the last episode, Diggle's gun like shot like the same thing that Oliver's arrow does that shoots like the high tension wire that holds people in place. So maybe they're not shooting bullets, or maybe the struggle is just Oliver's. Like, I don't know. Yeah. They don't explain it. Nobody talks about it. And I'm fine with that. Literally everybody had a gun this episode. So, no. Yeah. And here's the thing. And I think here's the difference, too. When you see Diggle, Rene with the guns, I mean, even Dinah had a gun at one point in this episode. They're literally fighting against other people that have guns. Season 1, Oliver was literally shooting bank execs and killing them with arrows.
Not to be shot.
Right. So I think that's where the line is here, even though they haven't come out and explicitly said it. I think that's what it is. Like, Oliver was murdering unarmed people. Diggle, Rene, everybody else on the team, when they have these guns, they're literally fighting. They're literally shooting against people who are also shooting them with real bullets. So it's like, it's not really murder. It's self-defense in a way, if you want to go that way. But Oliver was literally murdering people. So there's that, like okay. So I mean, yeah. So I'm assuming that's what the line is, but they've never, again, it's one of those weird things. Like, I'm waiting for that conversation to happen where like Oliver goes, oh, listen, we talked to Cisco and we're changing your bullets. We're changing your guns to icers or something like that. Like give them. That's what you got to do. Give them because that's what they've done on Agent of Shield, right? They have real bullets, but they also like I honestly thought in that scene when Gemma shot Ophelia, I thought she shot her with a real bullet.
I cheered because I thought that.
Yeah, and then she shot Fitz, and I was like, oh wait, she's got icers. Okay, but you can't tell, right? You can almost never tell if it's an icer or a real gun, and so that's what they've done. That's kind of what they need to do on Arrow. And I know we were talking about people jacking things from here and there. Fuck it, jack the icers. Do it, all right? Just jack them. Use it that way. You ain't got to change your designs. Just say, oh, no, it's a stun gun now. And we'll be fine with it. But you got to do something because it does come off as a stark contrast when you literally have Oliver talking about killing people. And, again, remember, Samson only exists because Rene almost killed him.
Right.
Well, actually, technically, he did kill him. So he killed him. He fell into a vat of chemicals and came back to life, and now he can't die. So, yeah, there's that. So, yeah. So, anything else you want to say about this before we move on? 2 more episodes of this. Same thing with Flash.
I'm excited for how they're gonna land this because clearly this is part of like the whole you keep even like a wider view. Like it wasn't like he used one of his associates. He busted a dude out of jail and used Samson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing. Yeah, they shouldn't be so relaxed.
Right. He used a guy who had a direct connection to one of Team Arrow, and they didn't see it. We see it, but they didn't see it. They need to see that this is a problem. And then Rene goes missing. Because you don't see Rene at the end of the episode.
They're gonna see it real soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to how they land this plane and how they go from there. So I'm looking forward to that. So again, a couple of housekeeping things here. If you are a premium member, I have a new support email address for all if you have membership issues with your membership, you signed up, you don't have, you didn't get your emails or anything like that, you need your account worked on. It's support@mtrnetwork.net. For anything else, you want to email the show or anything like that, again, the email addresses have changed. It's MTrailerReviews@mtrnetwork.net. Make sure you change those. The other one still works, but I have to make sure I manually check it. So please email the one it's basically the same email address as @mtrnetwork.net. Again, mtrnetwork.net for all your other needs for the site and everything like that. Super Tuesday recap. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and we'll read it on air. Again, if you are a listener and you subscribe to only one of the feeds, like I said, we have separate feeds for all the shows because we have so much information that comes out on the network. So if you're okay with that, that's great. But if you want to make sure you get your reviews on time, I know talking about Depalm, some stuff that's going to be coming out with Unanimous Decision, subscribe to each of the individual feeds. Just subscribe to them, be there. You'll get the information right when it comes out, right when it drops. There's no wait, no delay, because sometimes I delay episodes when they get released in the main feed. None of that happens there if you're on the individual feed. So again, we have individual feeds for movie trailer reviews, for all our movie reviews, our TV show reviews that are not Super Tuesday stuff. Super Tuesday recap, obviously. Character Corner, Unanimous Decision, and then there's the main MTR Network feed. Secret Sauce will get his own feed once we get 5 episodes in, and we'll put that up there. Another feed we might be making soon is MTR Premium Preview, which is going to have some previews of some of our previous MTR Premium shows out there. And again, the MTR Network Facebook group, there's a page as well if you want to like that. And we've started putting some of these reviews because, again, we know that sometimes it's hard to get podcasts while you're at work. So not only are we on YouTube, search for Movie Trailer Reviews on YouTube or MTR Network on YouTube. If you follow the page, you'll also get these reviews on all our podcasts as Facebook videos now. So they'll be just like they are on YouTube. So if you somehow can't get YouTube, but you can get Facebook videos, well, you can now listen through Facebook using Facebook videos and stuff like that. So there you guys have it. So again, guys, thank you very much for listening. And until next time, we are out of here. Peace.